Hey everybody, Uncle Dougie here with another video. Today is Friday. It's beautiful. It's about 5 o'clock, 94 degrees, and if you're from Phoenix, that's actually a pretty nice day. A little bit of a breeze blowing, humidity down underneath, I think 13-12%, dry heat as they say, and quite enjoyable. But hey, I'm out here tonight just for a one-nighter. I got an event tomorrow morning that I'm going to that starts at 7:30, and because I live on the southeast side of Phoenix, and this event's on the northwest side of Phoenix, I just said, hey, I got a camper. I can get out here and spend the night and make the drive in the morning a little bit easier. So I'm out here and I'm going to enjoy myself, have a couple of drinks, make some steaks and some dinner. And one thing I haven't showed you guys yet is the inside of the camper. So we're going to do an inside tour of the Hawk Flatbed today and show you around the desert just north of Lake Pleasant here in the northwest Phoenix area. So stick around. If you guys do plan to come out here, just know that we're right on the edge of the Lake Pleasant recreation area, which is also bordered with some state trust land, which is also bordered with some BLM land. So obviously BLM land, no problem. And to be honest with you, state trust land, no problem. You just have to buy I think for a single person it's a $13 permit. For a family, I think it's like $20. It just gives you the ability to camp on state trust land for 14 nights in a calendar year. But if you figure, if you just got to have the pass, so kind of figure it out. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to track you. It's just kind of a honor system, which we should all follow anyway. But it's a little tricky out here, and it's not perfectly straight lines. But if you got Gaia or anything like that, or Onyx or any of those programs, it should kind of show you what areas are BLM and what areas are for the lake. And a lot of the lake is just day use only. They do have a few campgrounds on site, but for the most part it is day use only. So just keep that in mind if you're coming out here. All right, got the camper up, got the steps on. Gonna take a minute to have a little bit of adult beverage. Got a little over an hour before sunset, and it's setting up to be a gorgeous sunset out here. still in the low 90s, maybe high 80s. And it's going to be a perfect night out in the desert. So just spent a couple minutes, had a couple come by in a Sprinter van, and they just spent 7 months down in Mexico tooling around. And that's really cool. That's something that I have on my bucket list. I've been down to Mexico a lot when I was in high school. I was mainly on the Baja side, Pacific Ocean side for surfing and whatnot, but would definitely be interested to get down there and maybe go close down to the tip and back. But until then, I got plenty of Arizona and the rest of the Southwest to explore with this bad boy. So let's finish up this drink and then we'll jump inside and take a tour. All right, so welcome to the inside of my Hawk Flatbed Mad Maxine. This is the bed area. It comes standard with 2 additional cushions if you want. You come over here, slide this out like this until it hits those, oops, get this food bag out of the way. Slide this out till it hits those bumps. You put your 2 cushions in here and it makes it a full queen bed, but I officially don't use it that way. I have plenty of room when I sleep on it like this as a full. I can sleep east to west, as they say, so side to side. And even if I'm curled up a little bit, I can sleep north to south. So extremely comfortable, especially tonight. I'm gonna have the windows open and I'll probably set that fan right there to be pulling air in on top of me, and it's gonna be absolutely perfect. Another really nice thing about the flatbed models of Hawk or 4-wheel campers is you get all this additional storage up underneath. So you get kind of a gas strut assist in lifting that up. And then you get a little skinny compartment right there. 1, 2, 3 wider compartments, and then another skinny compartment over there. I would say that they're probably, I don't know, they're probably about 4.5 inches deep. And I got it just stuffed with clothes and towels and just some of my extra camping gear. But it's an absolute awesome storage space that you get up underneath there. And then also here in the front, just in front of the window there, I put a decal on that window just because I hate the window. It looks right into the Ford garage of my Bowen flatbed. And so it looks like a brick wall in an old sitcom movie. So I put this really cool picture of Watson Lake on there. And then if you flip this door up, this is where all your fuses are for the camper. You got this plunger right over here, which is sort of your main power on and off if you need to be working on it. The red box right here is my WeBoost that I installed. And just behind there is the 20-gallon water tank. So that sits down in here. I got the Red Vision system right here. And with a nice sunny day driving up here, I'm still at over 90% on battery juice. And then they threw the 120 outlet for me right here. And this cabinet right here. All right, we'll start that over. Here's my 2 batteries, 100 amp hour each on the batteries. And then that is my, hard to see right now with the way the light is, but that's my Red Arc Manager 30 that manages power coming in from either solar or the truck's alternator, and puts the power, pulls what power it needs to from where into the batteries. And it works out really great. And then this is normally where the cassette toilet would go, but I opted not to get the cassette toilet. So when you don't do that, you can flip this door up and it's got a lock. And you have this nice kind of junk drawer. It's kind of my kind of go-to drawer for odds and ends, bathroom kind of stuff, toothpaste, and a couple cups here and there and things like that. And then also when you don't, let's slide out here real quick. If you don't get that cassette, then they give you, put a door on the front here, and then down underneath here I have my 2000 watt inverter, and then I just have a bunch of kind of cleaning supplies. I have flip-flops, trash bags, bags for not composting toilet, but the small tripod toilet that I have, and some of the gel that you put into those bags when you go to the bathroom. And I have this little gizmo here that I got that I just keep extra Walmart and grocery bags in for my trash. And then I did go ahead and put these 2 hooks on, 3 of them hooks on right there. And then those I hooked my trash bags on too. So let's take a look at the sink and refrigerator and those items now. Okay, so here is the driver's side of the hot flatbed. And you can see the countertop and how much space you have. You have the Suburban flush mount propane stove with 2 burners. Lid folds down like that. Just an FYI, I am in the process of getting the recall fix for the part for the stove. There's a little part in there that could rattle loose and make something break, but the part has been ordered. The part is in. Now I'm just waiting for the service center to call me so I can get it set up. Dometic sink right here drains out. I do not have a gray water tank, but it drains out to the drain on the side of the camper. So if you run the hose down to the ground or into a little gray water bucket to collect that, works out well. I don't have water right now because this is just an overnight trip. But same thing, everything kind of flushes out really nice. This is just a little extra old pad that I used to have for that. This is the drawer, and this is an upgrade that I did. Is on this drawer, they're normally, let me knock that shade out a little bit. Drawer is usually only about 16 inches deep, but the counter itself is 24 inches deep. So one of the things I did is I went online and found a cabinetry company and bought an exact same dimensions drawer, but I got one that was 20 inches deep. And what that let me do is I bought a set of these Cutco knives, and it came with this really nice knife holder, but the knife holder was 18 inches deep. The original drawer was only 16 inches deep. So I switched out to this 20-inch drawer, and then I also screwed in from the bottom, screwed in this knife holder, so these knives aren't going anywhere. And then this is just the rest of my cutlery and those kind of items. And then over here you have your thermostat right here. Works really well. Used it this Christmas time. I can set it to about 68, 70 before it gets too warm in here, but everybody's different. It wasn't super cold out for me. But then this is your hot water tank switch right here. And it's kind of confusing, not confusing, but the weird thing is this little red light will only come on if you have an issue. So let's say you turn that switch on and the red light comes on. The first thing you want to check is to see if you turned on your propane or not. So the little tag I put on the top says propane off. And then down here, if the switch is pushed this way, the water heater's off, and the switch is pushed that way towards the cab of the truck, it's on. And then here is your 4-wheel camper. This is just where you turn on your water pump right there. And then you can check to see what your water level is and what your battery level is. So right now my water is low because I haven't filled up the tank, and my batteries are crushing it because it's Arizona and super sunny out. Okay, now in this forage storage drawer, you can store all kinds of stuff, and it's really big. And this is also where you would access if you have the 6-gallon water heater. So I got some kitchen towels in here. I got a big bin that I keep some of my bigger stuff in, keep it kind of organized for the most part. Rattling down the road, this kind of rubberized stuff that everybody uses kind of works sometimes, cousin doesn't. But I'll be honest with you, I go banging down the roads pretty good. And whenever I get into the camper, this stuff really hasn't gone anywhere. So I don't know how much stuff in the back here bangs around, but you can kind of see how deep this is. I got a stack of pots right here that I use. I got one of those collapsible pots right here that I sit up on top. This whole box right here is like all my spices, salts and peppers and things like that. And then I just have some real miscellaneous camping stuff that I've had from other stuff. So couple different trays, but I like keeping everything in trays because that way it keeps everything juggling around and keeps anything that has a lid on it upright, so you don't have to worry about any leaking. And then lastly, if I pull all this stuff out of the way for you real quick, if you flip up this door right here, then that's what gives you access to your 6-gallon hot water tank. And if you need to either do service on it, turn a valve on or off, for the folks that live in the colder climates, this is where you would access it to winterize. And also, just so you know too, if you come around and look up underneath here, and I do not know if you're able to see this or not, there's actually a little shelf up underneath there that makes for a fantastic security spot. If you ever want to just hide something away that no one's ever going to think about looking underneath there for. So that is the front storage door. Okay, so now we're looking at the rear storage door that's next to the refrigerator. And this one, oh wow, okay, this is the first time I've ever seen it like this. So usually when I have this stuff in here, I open up this door and everything's standing upright and not a problem, but I must have hit a pretty good bump this time. So anyway, I like to keep my French press coffee in here. This is actually a thing of vegetable oil for cooking. I found that any kind of a plastic jug or anything with vegetable oil just seems to leak. So that stays super sealed up and I don't have any problem. Extra butane for the stove. And then I just got these 2 boxes in here that have just miscellaneous cooking and cleaning items. And then they stack up on top of each other really well and stay in place. And it's a pretty good drawer. I want to say it's probably 10 inches by 11 inches, maybe about 24 inches deep. Okay, moving on to the refrigerator. This is the, oh, don't quote me on this, but I think this is the 85 quart isotherm refrigerator. And it is 12 volt refrigerator, no propane, so just 12 volt, runs off of my lithium batteries, and it's tied into my Red Arc system. It's got a little safety latch up here that you unlatch. Open it right here. Don't have much in here just because I know it's go overnight. But here's the drawer space on the doors. And then down underneath, you do have a rear or small plastic slider drawer in the bottom, shelves. You got it on each of these 2 shelves. You can fold up this piece right here. So if you have taller items, you can put them in there. That's what they got. It's got a nice little refrigerator. I like to use these out here in Arizona. I like to use these massive 2-inch ice cubes for drinks because they last a lot longer. And as you can see, I'm going to have a steak, some butter, broccoli, and wash it down maybe with a little bit of Dr. Pepper for dinner. Don't be jealous. That's what I'm doing. That's the fridge. Okay, guys, this is the furnace unit that comes with 4-wheel campers. Works really well. There's a lot of talk out there. I don't have it in there right now. You can't see it, but if you do have a 4-wheel camper or you get one, just behind this plastic grate and just in front of the grate that's inside there's a gap of about 4 to 5 inches. And what there is usually a piece of dryer vent hose, that kind of silver hose in there. And I guess for some reason that causes some kind of a backdraft problem or something like that. So if you're having problems with the heater, see if you have one of those in there. There's 2 screws you take off on this bad boy and you take that out and it works pretty good. Here's the rear dinette of the Hawk. And usually when I'm traveling, I like to put the seat cushions and the table down in this position, but this kind of gives you an idea of what it's like when it's set up as it's probably like a full bed. I have not done it myself yet, but a few people that I've talked to that do have campers have either dropped their top or just got in the camper when the wind was just way too rough, and they've just slept on this way, and they said it's super comfortable and the whatnot. So give me a second. I'm going to convert it to the full dinette and show you what that looks like. Okay, real quick before I do the complete setup, I just wanted to show you this. So here's how big the storage compartments are on each side. I mean, I maybe have that 2/3 full. It's a good 2 feet wide by probably 32, 34 inches deep. Here's the one on the other side. Sorry about the light. Oops, let's get over here. There you go. And then this is a little hack I came up with. So when I'm running down the road, I actually like to keep my table down and it sits in this position. What I did is I put a little D-ring in right there. Did this elastic strap over to the other side. So then if I'm running down the road, this is the heaviest item, and it really kind of keeps it in place so it doesn't bang around. So let me get back to setting up and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here's how it is when it's set up as a dinette and the table in place. I would say that this seats 2 adults comfortably, and then 2 adults and maybe 2 kids under 5 could snuggle up there and have a cozy breakfast or dinner. Table moves around kind of like a lagoon table and whatnot. And so there's the Hawk dinette. Okay, one of the last things I want to show you is here is where I located my WeBoost internal antenna. So this is in the back driver's corner of the camper, and then on the outside I'll do a B-roll of it, but the WeBoost antenna is up on the roof rack over the front passenger side. So WeBoost recommends that you have the farthest distance that you can between the antennas will give you the best service. And then the last thing I want to show you is down here underneath the table. Like I said, it's a lagoon table, so it kind of slides out of the way for you. And now this is a storage area. If you opt for the shower, this would be more of a open kind of grate floor that allows the shower bin to drain out. But in this case, it's storage. I did add in here, let me show you real quick. I did add these high-powered magnets back here. And then what they do is they go up and click onto those galvanized panels. So now when I go to open this, they stay open for me, and you don't have to sit there and fight the doors to keep them open as you go through all your yummy goodies in here and figure out if you're gonna have a pasta primavera with some corn and then some Swiss Miss cocoa for dinner, or if you're gonna go with the traditional ramen chicken bowl. So this is kind of all my backup food. This is just the stuff that I have if I run out of food or meet somebody on the road that needs something to eat. I got all this stuff in here, but it's a great spot, and those magnets really hold these doors up. When you're done with them, you just give them a little bit of a tug, and that's it. Over here is the power panel. So this is all the switches for your lights, your refrigerator fan, obviously fire extinguisher, and then I inserted a GMRS radio back here that I can use while I'm in the camper and not in the truck. And then here, that 120 outlet there is good when you're hooked up to shore power. Otherwise it doesn't work. But then these two 12 volts are great. I usually plug these in right here, especially because they're USBs. And that's where I plug in and charge up my phone and my watch every night. And then sometimes I plug in outdoor lights to this 12 volt plug right there. So there you have it. That is the inside of my Hawk flatbed camper. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them for you. And if you guys got any tips, I just pulled my fishing poles out because it is summertime, it's season. I am thinking I got one hook up there that's not gonna work, but I do want to try to figure out something to hang my fishing poles. So if anybody's done that already and has a solid system for doing that, let me know. Until the next time, have fun, get out there and enjoy the summer, because before you know it, it's gonna be winter again. We'll see you.